Hey everybody, welcome back, and continuing where we left off in the last lesson. We went ahead and made our horns. So now what we want to go ahead and do here is we want to adjust these so that we can get an interesting shape to fit our head. Okay, so what we can go ahead and do here is just use the same process that we were using for our base head. We'll just take our move topological brush and we'll begin shaping these horns to try and come up with an interesting shape so that we can um, fit them onto the character. So I think we should probably start pulling the base out here. And you can see where we're already fitting inside of the head. But what we want to go ahead and do is we want to get this shape to sort of fit the head a little better, and we can just start playing with these a little bit. And I needed to turn on the symmetry there. Okay, so we'll just go ahead and maybe fatten this up a little bit here. Maybe pull this out, smooth it down a little bit. And you'll notice that I'm still constantly rotating around to try and get the right shape for the rhino. Okay, so we can probably pull this down just a little bit more. Maybe we should try and see what it looks like if we go ahead and throw this in. Maybe thin this out a little bit more. Let's go ahead and thin the top out here as well. And it looks too shark finny, so go ahead and fatten that up a little bit. Okay. Let's go ahead here and work on the other one. So I'm just going to leave this at a subdivision level 4. I'm not necessarily concerned about fully detailing this right now because the detail is going to come later on down the road here. We really just want to make sure that we get the overall interesting shape. Okay, so we'll just make sure that we turn on our symmetry for this one as well. Yeah, we'll just come in and see if we can't fatten this up a little bit. Maybe pull this out, push this area in. Okay. Pull that out a little bit. And just try and work with the shape here just a little bit. Maybe thin the upper portion of this horn out a little bit. I could probably pull it back a little bit more. Okay, so I think that shape works fine. But what we also want to go ahead and do is we actually want to get it to look like it's sitting in something on the head. So let's go ahead here and switch back to our head shape. Actually, let me just make sure that we go up to subdivision level 4 here on our horn. I'm going to go ahead and smooth this out just a little bit there. Okay, we'll jump back to our rhino head. We need to build up the area here around the rhino horn. So what we can do is we can just take our clay brush and we'll just try and zoom in here. Just change our focal shift a little bit, and we'll just start sculpting the area here. Just using the clay brush to give us a decent build-up. go ahead and smooth this out a little bit. That was probably a little too much. So we'll just smooth this area out a little bit here. Just start throwing some clay on this so we can build up around this here. Okay, and we'll try and keep it as smooth as we can. And I think we should probably go ahead and actually move this back horn back just a little bit more. Okay, so let's go ahead and grab this. Just grab our move tool here, and we'll just move this back just a little bit. Okay, and we'll just jump back to our draw tool, and we'll just go around this one as well. Okay. So we want to build up around it, almost like it's been sort of stuck into a piece of clay. So you get that sort of like gelatin look. So it's been like molded into the head. Okay, so I think we need to maybe get a little bit more clay here. We're not really detailing anything right now. We're really just trying to get the shape for these horns placed into the head properly. That's the main goal here. So we just need to continually build this up here. And we're just going to go ahead and smooth out here. I'm going to make sure that we clean this area up here because I want a clear separation between the front horn and the back horn. Okay, so we'll just use the Damien standard brush to go ahead and work on that. And using the clay brush, we'll go ahead and build that up a little bit more. Actually, I think we can probably leave that connected. That might actually work a little bit better. Okay. And we'll just take our move topological. Let's just start flattening this stuff out. And if we want to, we could probably give it a little more attitude simply by pulling some of this stuff down. Because we don't necessarily want any real straight lines. We really want to make it an overall stylized character, so we want to make sure that there's really no straight lines. Everything should have at least some form of a curve to it or some accentuation to it. Go ahead and maybe pull this out a little bit more. Okay. I think that's looking fairly decent there. Let me go ahead and just BPR render that to see how that looks. Give it just about a 3/4 there. For me, that's looking okay. Let's go ahead and adjust the area here because this is not thick enough, and you can see where this is sort of getting pinched. Okay, so we can probably shorten up the cheeks here, and I want to go ahead and make sure that I pull this portion down. Maybe not. We'll go ahead and just pull down the gizzard neck there and try and smooth that out a little bit. Okay, so I think our horns there are looking fairly good in terms of the shape and placement. So in the next lesson we will go ahead and come back and we'll begin the process of putting the eyes, at least the area where the eyes are, onto the character. We're definitely going to have to do some shape refinement for that as well. So I think at this point we're ready to go ahead and call it a pause for this lesson, and then we'll go ahead and come back. So come on back, everybody.